Hey, what is going on, everybody? You are listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing. I am your host, it's Paul Motley here. And today, Thursday, nearly the end of the week already. Crazy. I just want to go over a couple of things. When I spoke yesterday, talking about goals and talking about ways to push forward and sort of like the methods that you might want to employ if you want to create, either a side hustle. I hate that phrase. Supplementary income. Let's do that one. Or if you want to replace your income so that you can leave your job, or, if you want to create financial freedom for yourself and your family. So it's kind of like almost like wanting to expand on that a little bit and think about the psychology that comes with that and trying to break it down a little bit, because you know what? A lot of people sort of like look at these big goals and they think, oh man, I just can't do it. There's too much work to do. I've got so much to do each day. And they almost like beat themselves up because they don't complete things as fast, or, they might get through a day and they haven't, reached that, the goal that they wanted to get to, or they still feel like they've got a ton of stuff to work on. But I want to turn back that clock a little bit and go, do you know what? It's okay. As long as you're not going backwards, because let's face it, time doesn't move backwards. It only moves forward. So I want you to think about that as far and relate it to your own business as well, because it's almost impossible for your business to go backwards. The efforts that you put in, you don't take the efforts out again. Do you know what I'm saying? If you create the only way to really go backwards is, let's say if you created a YouTube video, the only way to really go backwards from the effect that YouTube video is going to have, and in fact, you're not even going backwards. If you delete that video, you're back to zero, right? For that particular effort, that's all it is. It doesn't go into negative. There is literally no way of going backwards in that way. So if you think to yourself, oh man, I posted this video, I spent hours on it, it's just not doing what I wanted to do, I hate myself on it, and I messed up so many times and just don't like it, you can delete it and it will just go to zero again, and then you start again. So don't feel bad about any time that you don't feel like you're moving forward, because it's impossible to move backwards. So, you just hit the reset. You think, okay, right, well, look at it, evaluate it, and then try and improve on it. So I've done this myself. I've had videos out there. In fact, that if I actually took the time to go back over my YouTube channel, I would probably find a ton of videos on there where I'd look back and go, oh man, what on earth were you doing? That was shite. I just really hated it, or I just jumbled my words up too many times, or the content didn't look too great. We are our own worst critic. Believe you and me, we are the worst ones, because we see these, extremely well polished, sort of like studio style videos on YouTube. We're just picking on that for an example right now. And we all think that we need to make the same thing. We'll rush out and buy lighting kits. We'll rush out and buy, expensive mics. We'll get, editing done and all this sort of stuff. All these things to try and reach the level that we think we should be at, rather than dealing with where we are. And you see it all the time. If you ever go onto someone's YouTube channel, and I'm not talking about the megastars here, I'm talking about people that might have 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers. If you go back and you go onto their channel, and then you list their videos in reverse order, not the latest but the oldest, you can go back and see where they've come from. Kevin David talks about this quite a lot, actually. If you go on his channel, he is now like megastar and going extremely well, and hitting massive highs. But if you go back on his channel and have a look at the videos that he first brought out, he himself has admitted he didn't like them. But in some cases, I'm sure he's deleted other ones that he hasn't left live, and we've all done it. But he's kept with it, and he's stuck with it, and he's gone forward all the time, moving forward. Yeah. And that's where you should look at your own business as well. You think to yourself, okay, right, well, your income can go up or down. that is a fact, right? If you're doing like passive income programs, you might get a bunch of customers that cancel that month. Sure, your income's going to take a dip, but it doesn't mean your business has gone backwards, because you still achieved those sales in the first place. They don't unsell themselves, they've just cancelled. So you hit the reset button. You're back to zero for those particular people, right? And it doesn't mean they're lost for good. You might be able to offer them something else, an alternative. Maybe it's a price issue. Maybe you need to follow up and talk them through it and give them additional training to help them make best use out of whatever they were buying at the time. So there are ways of recouping these things, and I do this all the time. There was a program recently where I got a $500 commission for a sale, and so far I think I've done like 54 of these, but 4 people have actually refunded, which is like a $2,000 kick in the teeth. And if you're listening to this, you'll understand, and you may have had this happen to you. I know one in particular person that I hope she's still listening to the podcast. It's happened to her, but the advice that I gave to her, well, you got the sales through the transactions. The email address and the name of the person who refunded. So why not reach out to them directly, ask them why they cancelled, find out if there's anything that you can do to help them progress on. And if it really boils down to it and it's really not their thing and there's nothing you can do, then that's fine. But you can still build on that relationship, and maybe there's something else that might suit them better. You've got to ask the questions and find out what they're passionate about, how they want to build their business, and then you can perhaps recommend them an alternative, and you go on from there. You don't lose that, communication, that relationship that you probably built up. It might be that the relationship, whether you knew it or not, was built over months, because maybe they were consuming your content. It's like this podcast. I mean, we're coming up, I think it's either November or December. It'll be a whole year since I started this podcast. Now, admittedly, I do these every day. So if it's your first time listening, then please go back and start at zero. It's not going to take you that long to catch up. Seriously, that's a small white lie there. It might do, because there's a lot of content, right? But hit the subscribe button. Don't miss out on this. If podcast listening is your thing, then why not plug into something like this, where you can get to learn a whole bunch of stuff about affiliate marketing for free. And I've said this times. In fact, I posted about this on Facebook, because someone mentioned was, how much do you give away for free of your premium content? And my answer was that I actually give it all out for free. Let them know everything, but I only let you guys that listen to the podcast into that knowledge. That's why you are more of an exclusive bunch of people that are either listening for the first time, or you might be a regular listener and you might be benefiting from this, because guess what? Yeah, I sell my own products and services online. I do, right? I'm an affiliate marketer. I have programs and softwares and all sorts of good stuff that I sell as an affiliate marketer. And some of you may have actually purchased through links that I gave you in one shape or another, but it's very rare that I actually do that directly through the podcast. Now, if you check the show notes, there might be a link or two on each podcast that I get out there, but ultimately that's my way of building my business, right? But the actual content that I'm giving you is totally free. For those that have listened for a long time, I tend to record the podcast in my garage, because it's the quietest place to do it. And right now I'm just holding my phone in my palm of my hand, talking out loud, and on the GarageBand app on iPhone, and it takes me, maybe 10-15 minutes a day that I'm recording, and then I'll hit save, I'll stick the date on it, I'll whiz back in the house, I'll share it onto my iMac, upload it into Buzzsprout, which is my podcast host. You have a website where you need a website host, like Blue, or GoDaddy something. Then that's how I get the content out to you guys, because then it's uploaded into different platforms. It might be iTunes, it might be, there's a whole bunch, right, of podcast platforms which go out to, but I do need to host it, right? So that's the procedure that I go through, because it's the easiest and lowest tech way of me getting the content out. And because of that, I'm able to do this each day. And believe me, there's been a couple of days when I forgot. I woke up at, I don't know, I think I was almost heading to bed, and it was quite late. It was like probably over the weekend or something like that. And it got to 11:30, and I was just chilling out in my room. And I was like, whoa, you know, the whole startled rabbit thing. Just try and imagine me reaching up into bed, you know, fully upright, eyes wide, almost like, you know, the little rabbit ears going straight up in the air. I haven't done my podcast. And I was like, at no point did I think, sod it, I'll do it tomorrow. I was like, I do this every day, so let's get it done. So that's what I did. So you just think about that, and you can actually apply these principles to your business as well. Because if you think to yourself, right, okay, well, I'm going to try and produce content because I want people into my world, if I like, so that further down the line, if I find something that I think is going to help them and it's an affiliate program, then obviously it helps grow my business. And you can think the same way as well. So if you are creating content, try and be consistent with it. Now, you think about things which last a long time, as opposed to things which are, you know, gone in next to seconds. You know, an Instagram post or a TikTok video, you know, they're up in the feed and they're gone when people are scrolling through, yeah? A little bit the same was with Facebook. Now, admittedly, I still get posts that I put on Facebook getting likes and comments maybe 2 or 3 days later. But that's Facebook's sneaky algorithm working away, putting it in front of people that they think are going to be engaged with it and thus stay on the platform longer, right? This is the world of social media that we are living in today. Trust me on that one. I watched the movie. I can't remember the name of it. If I do remember the name of it tomorrow, I will mention it. It is astounding, the level of complicated computer algorithms that go in to decide what you see on Facebook or the other social media platforms. They are manipulating based around our activity. Now, if you use Facebook a lot, you will notice that if you have notifications switched on, every so often your phone might be sat on the side and it will ping off and it will say, oh, so-and-so tagged you in a photo, or so-and-so is live now, or so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so posted in this. That is, you know, that is the monster. That is Facebook trying to get you back to more screen time. It's incredible, right? Now, you might be frightened, you might be scared about this, you might think, oh my God, you know, Big Brother is watching and all this stuff. But you can turn it around to your own advantage. So the way that I think about it is, I watch mostly, if I'm on Facebook and I'm watching videos, I'll watch comedy videos, right? I'll watch funny interviews and stuff like that. And that's me. I prefer to be entertained in a way that makes me feel happy and makes me laugh. Because it doesn't matter what the weather's like, it doesn't matter what sort of day you had, it doesn't matter how many arguments you might have had with your spouse or your kids or your friends or relatives or anything like that. In most times, you can always laugh, right? And, you know, I've been through some pretty dark days myself previously. You know, and I don't talk about this because it is obviously personal, going through a divorce and being cut off from my kids and, you know, some crazy stuff and, you know, really, really bad places that I went to. And, you know, I was going downhill, seriously. But even on those really darkest days, the way that I got myself through it was through watching funny videos. Seriously, that's what did it for me. Because, you know, and again, I don't want to touch on this because it is really personal, but I might not have been here today if I hadn't have found that outlet to try and bring myself back, if you like. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to pause too much on that one because, like I said, it was a dark time. But anyway, back to the good stuff. God, yeah. Wow, went really deep then for a minute, didn't I? Okay, shared a little bit too much there, Paul. Okay, so back to it. So you think to yourself, right, okay, I can drive my business forward. You can't hit it in reverse. You can put it into neutral, you can pump the brakes, but you can't put it in reverse, yeah? So don't worry if you haven't reached your destination for each day. Because think of yourself like a marching army, go back to the Roman time when you've been sent off by Caesar or whatever it is to go and conquer the world or whatever your target is, and on the way you have to go through skirmishes, you have to go through battles, you're up, you're down, all this good stuff. Ultimately, you keep marching because that is what's within you. You can move forward. Time moves forward, so move your business forward with time. Anyway, that's my brain today. So go out there and crush it, guys. Look forward to speaking to you all again tomorrow.